What if the very idea of university was about to get completely upended by AI?
It's a huge question.
Yeah, today we're diving into this pretty bold prediction from Geoffrey Hinton, the AI pioneer.
Often called the Godfather.
Right. He suggests universities, well, the ones we know now, might basically become obsolete. We're looking at some recent news reports covering his thoughts on this.
Exactly. And our goal here, for everyone listening, is really to unpack what Hinton's saying, uh, understand why he's saying it, and think about what it could mean
Hmm.
without getting bogged down in, like, super technical jargon.
Good plan. And just so we're clear, when we say AI, we mean these computer systems that can do tasks needing human intelligence,
No.
learning, problem solving, that kind of thing.
Real side. That's the baseline.
Okay, let's jump right in then. Hinton's main point, the one causing all the stir,
Mm.
he reckons that within the next, 10 years or so, AI systems will get so incredibly good at teaching
Yeah.
that universities, at least in their current teaching role, might just not be needed anymore.
Wow. And that's coming from Geoffrey Hinton. I mean, this isn't just anyone. He's a huge figure in AI.
Definitely. Just won the Nobel Prize in Physics in 2024, right? Alongside John Hopfield.
That's right. So his background, his deep understanding, it gives this prediction a lot of, well, weight. You have to take it seriously.
Absolutely. When someone like Hinton says something that radical, you kind of have to listen, don't you?
You really do. And what's fascinating is the why. It's not just a vague feeling. He actually explains how he thinks AI could beat traditional teaching.
And that's all about this idea of super personalization, isn't it?
Exactly. Hyper-personalization. Hinton's argument is that these AI tutors, they'll be able to tailor learning to each individual student in a way a human teacher dealing with a whole class just can't.
How would that even work?
Well, he says it's because the AI can analyze just massive amounts of data from like millions of other people who've learned the same stuff.
Okay, so it sees where everyone else got stuck.
Pretty much. Think about it like how streaming services recommend shows. They see what millions watched, what people like you watched.
Ah, okay, I get that.
So the AI does something similar for learning. It sees the common stumbling blocks, the typical misunderstandings for millions of learners on a specific topic.
And then it uses that to figure out my specific problem.
Exactly. It can pinpoint your misunderstanding with incredible accuracy, supposedly, and then adjust how it teaches you specifically to overcome that block.
It sounds like having a tutor who's literally seen it all, every possible mistake.
That's a good way to put it. And Hinton actually uses an analogy here. He compares it to human tutors.
Right, I saw that. He said a good private tutor is already much better than normal classes.
Yeah, he puts a number on it, says they're maybe 2 times better.
Okay.
But then he suggests these AI tutors. They could be 3 or 4 times better than even that really good human tutor.
Whoa, 3 or 4 times better than twice as good. That's a lot.
It's a massive jump, yeah. It really makes you think about how effective learning could potentially become.
And he sees this as a positive thing for learners, right?
Oh, definitely. He framed it as potentially very good news for people learning stuff.
Makes sense. If it's that much more effective, that personalized, you'd grasp things quicker, maybe, deeper.
That's the idea. Imagine struggling with, I don't know, calculus or something.
Oh, I can imagine that.
And the AI just knows the precise point where your understanding went off track and explains it in just the right way for you. That could be incredibly powerful, super efficient.
But efficient isn't everything in education, is it? What about learning from others, the whole uni experience?
Well, that brings us right to the big provocative statement, doesn't it?
The maybe we won't need them anymore line.
Yeah. He puts it out there pretty directly. It's stark.
It really is. Coming from him, especially, makes you stop and think about what universities are actually for.
Definitely. But, it's important to add a bit of nuance here. His view isn't completely black and white. He does sort of hedge it a bit.
Oh, how so?
He acknowledges that universities might still have important roles. Specifically, he mentions research.
Okay, that makes sense. Discovery, innovation.
Right. And also apprenticeships.
Yeah.
Hands-on learning, mentorship, that kind of thing.
So, not a total wipeout. Maybe the teaching function shrinks dramatically, but the research labs, the practical training, those might still need a physical place, an institution.
That seems to be the implication. A shift in focus, perhaps, rather than complete obsolescence. The lecture hall might fade, but the lab or workshop could remain vital.
Okay, that's a critical distinction. But even with that caveat, this prediction about AI taking over instruction, it feels like it stems from a much bigger view he has on AI's power, right?
Absolutely. This isn't just about education software. The reports also touch on his uh, broader and, frankly, quite serious concerns.
You mean about AI getting smarter than humans, taking control?
Exactly. He's been quite vocal about those risks,
Yeah.
the existential threats. His prediction about universities fits into that larger picture of AI becoming incredibly powerful, potentially exceeding human intellect itself.
Which fundamentally changes things if our institutions are built on humans being the smartest ones around.
Precisely. He even made that comparison to the Industrial Revolution, didn't he?
Yeah, like machines overtook our physical strength.
And now AI is poised to overtake our intellectual abilities. That's his framing.
And the fact he left his position at Google, partly to speak more freely about these risks.
Right. It adds weight. It shows how seriously he takes these potential transformations, both the good and the potentially very bad. He's not just throwing out casual ideas.
Okay. So let's try and boil this down for everyone listening. What are the absolute key takeaways from this dive into Hinton's prediction?
Well, the core idea is this. Hinton believes that probably within the next decade,
10 years. Yeah.
AI could become this incredibly effective, super personalized tutor. So effective, in fact, that it might seriously challenge the need for universities as primary places of instruction.
Making them potentially less essential in that specific role.
Exactly. And the aha moment, the real engine behind this, is the AI's ability to learn from millions of other learners.
Right. Using that huge data set to understand exactly how you learn and where you get stuck.
It's that insight derived from vast amounts of data that human teachers just can't replicate at that scale. That's the potential game changer.
Think back to lectures, right? Sometimes they just didn't click with how you thought about things.
We've all been there.
AI, in theory, could bridge that gap for everyone individually.
Which loops us back to that really provocative statement he made.
Maybe we won't need them anymore.
Yeah. It's designed to make us think, isn't it? Really question the future role and structure of higher education in this new AI era.
Definitely. And maybe this is the thought to leave everyone with. If AI does become the main way we learn information and skills, what's left for the traditional university? Beyond just pure instruction, what other parts of that whole university experience are still truly valuable, maybe even irreplaceable? What else do universities give us as people, as a society, that AI tutoring alone might not?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Something to really chew on.